everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to talk about my November TBR. So it is almost November, and here the weather has changed, and it is full on winter. And we have had almost, me and the kids graph how many sunny days and all that kind of stuff we have as a part of school, and we've had almost as many rainy and cloudy days as we have sunny days, probably actually even more at this point. And I am so excited for the season, but also kind of over it already because today is 35 degrees right now, and it's 11 o'clock in the morning, and it's cold, guys. It's cold, but this is the perfect time for this November TBR. So I have been going back and forth. You guys have probably been watching. If I want a TBR, if I don't, how many books I want it, I don't know. And I just finished a fantasy reading vlog that I will link down below. And after that, I kind of am wanting to just read whatever. So definitely take this as a pile of possibilities, not a set in stone TBR. But there's a couple things I really want to participate in. So let's just talk about it. So first, Audrey from Chapter and Converse, she's going to be doing her Booktrovert Bingo round 3, I think. And it's a big bingo board that can kind of guide your reading, but I'm going to use it kind of like retroactively. I'm going to see where my reading fits into it, and then maybe try to fill in the spaces, but I'm not going to set a set TBR for that. However, I am going to set a TBR for Historathon, which is hosted by Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library, Amanda from On the Middle Shelf, I think is what it's called, her new channel name, and GloriaZThompson. So this is round 4, I think, of Historathon, and it takes place over the whole month of November, and the goal is really just to read more historical fiction. And if I'm going to read historical fiction, now is prime time, you guys. It is prime time because it's bleak outside, and kind of a lot of these circumstances are really bleak. I love historical fiction in the fall, and the reason I don't read it more is just because sometimes it gets a little slow, or I get lost in the context, and I lose, I either care more about the context or the plot. And so we're gonna kind of see how it goes. So the way they've done it this time is each of the 3 hosts has given you 3 prompts, and it's just to guide your reading. Like I said, the whole point is just to read more historical fiction, but they suggest picking 1 prompt from each host. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to do 1 prompt of historical fiction from each host, but I'm going to use the prompts as my November TBR regardless. And so from each host, I will have 1 historical fiction and then 2 of whatever genre it fits into. And it may or may not be historical fiction. So I'm using it as my November TBR as well as participating in Historathon. So let's just get into it. So first is, there's also a group read. I didn't say that, but I'm not going to be doing the group read because I really want to read off my shelves. I have been failing miserably at that. And I'm going to read a little bit from the library and other places this month, but I'm going to try to read primarily off my shelf. So I'm not going to read the group read, but let's get into Glorious. So the first one is set in a place you have been or you want to visit. So I have put this on a TBR before and not done it, and that is Out of the Easy by Ruta Septys. So I believe this is her debut, and it's set in New Orleans. And New Orleans is somewhere that I have been and really enjoy. Jeremy and I, my last time there, Jeremy and I took a trip there, actually for a work thing with him, and his aunt and I just kind of roamed around New Orleans, and it was weeks before I got pregnant with Ainsley and my oldest daughter, and I think fondly that was my last trip before feeling like I was entering motherhood, and it's just great. But my grandmother also has a strong affinity for New Orleans. Her and her sister used to go every year, and so it's a fun place. The reason I have put this on my TBR before and not read it is because I've heard mixed things about it, and so I'm nervous. Ruta Septys generally writes historical fiction about lesser-known events, and she's usually a YA author, but they don't feel YA. And this one is about a girl who's known as the daughter of a brothel prostitute, and she wants more than New Orleans has to offer. She plans to get out, but then a mysterious death leaves her tangled in an investigation. So is this even historical? Let's see. Josie must choose between who she is now and who she longs to become, between when to hold on and how to let go. So with characters and atmosphere reminiscent of the great Southern novels, Ruta Septys creates a rich story of secret lies and the haunting reminder that our decisions shape our destiny. So I think this is still, a haunting peek at the life of a teenage girl in 1950s New Orleans. Thank you. So there's that. I am really going to try to read it this time because, like I said, I've picked it up and put it down multiple times. Next is a 5-star prediction. So this is going to be a nonfiction, and it's Bomb Shelter, Love, Time, and Other Explosives by Mary Laura Philpott. And this one is about this woman's experience kind of balancing optimism and anxiety. And you guys, I can relate so hard to this. And so something happens when her son is like a teenager, and something happens to him. He's unconscious. I don't know what happens, but as a mother, you like, that is just your worst fear of something happening to your children. And if that can happen, what else can happen? I think is one of the things that said kind of crossed her mind. And so that constant anxiety that like rolls through your head, either as an anxiety sufferer, as a mother suffering from anxiety, like that's the specifics of this, but as any anxiety sufferer, I think you can see like if that's going on, then what else could happen, and that, but also being optimistic and for me, faith-filled of I don't know what's going to happen and it could be terrible or it could be great, but I know that God's got this. I don't think this is Christian, but I don't know. It's blurbs by Glennon Doyle, and I don't know. I just think I relate really hard with that like constant struggle between anxiety and optimism, and so I think I will really like this. And you guys know nonfiction is one of the few genres that I do get 5 stars in, so we'll see. Next is based on a true story. So I actually have two historicals in this one. So this is Where's Anne Frank by R.E. Folman. This is a graphic novel about Anne Frank's imaginary friend coming to life. And so her imaginary friend named Kitty. And there's not a lot of words on the pages. So I don't know. What's the difference between a comic and a graphic novel? I don't know if any of you guys do. But so this will be a really, really quick read because like I said, there's not a lot of words on the page. So interesting kind of reimagining there. So next is Amanda from On the Middle Shelf. So her first prompt is a color in the title. I think this might be my only book on my shelves that has a color in the title. Well, it's for sure my only historical fiction. I think I maybe have 1 or 2 others. That's like way harder than I would have thought. But The Woman with the Blue Star. So this is 1944, maybe 1942. She's 18. This girl is 18 and living with her parents in the ghetto, in the Krakow ghetto during World War II. When the Nazis liquidate the ghetto, she and her pregnant mother are forced to seek refuge in the perilous sewers beneath the city. And then I think there's also the story of a Polish girl, like an affluent Polish girl, and the two kind of come together. I am really interested. This is another one that I've picked up and put down multiple times, and partially because it has deckled edges, and I am team no deckled edges. So maybe I'll read this digitally, but yeah, very, very interesting, and just what a bleak situation. So there's that. Next is 3 words in the title. So this could be like a lot of these could be 3 words in a title, but one I explicitly want to make sure I'm going to read, and so I'm putting it on this TBR, is Just Don't Fall by Emma St. Clair. And this is the first in the Sweater Weather series that is going around Booktube like crazy. It is a Kindle Unlimited series. I honestly have no idea what it's about. I think it's a clean romance, but very fall vibes, and there's a whole series. I think the next one is by oh goodness, I'm blanking, an author that I really enjoy, Courtney Walsh. I think Courtney Walsh writes the next one. So I really want to pick up that first one. Next is the word book in the title. So I'm going to be reading How to Find Love in a Bookshop by Veronica Henry. And this is a book about a woman who owns a bookstore that is kind of in danger of going under. And so she's trying to save her bookshop. I think there's some friendship as well as a romantic relationship. And I'm hoping it's going to kind of challenge, or not challenge, but just show, there you go, I can't think of a good word, so show it is, show different types of love and bonding over books and all of that kind of stuff. Sounds lovely. So there's that. So now Lindsay's Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library, her 3 prompts. So one is your favorite author. So I'm going to, there's so many I could do, but one that I want to do is Enemies of the Heart by Andy Stanley, another nonfiction. I'm really in the mood for nonfiction all of a sudden, and it's Nonfiction November, so double points there. So Andy Stanley, Enemies of the Heart. I love Andy Stanley. He is a Christian preacher that he speaks in such a relatable way, and his content is so just relatable and so easily consumed. And so I there's a lot of things that are really distracting to me, and shoulds are a big part of it. And I always love trying to grow my spiritual life, and so there's that. Next is set during your favorite time period. So I am on team World War II is fine. Keep giving it to me. And so I'm going to be reading Not Without My Sister by Marion Kummerow. And this is about 2 sisters who are sent to a camp in Germany in 1944. So after hiding for years, they're captured by the Gestapo and sent to a concentration camp, and one of the girls is older and the other one is 4 years old, and they're separated, and the only thing really keeping her going is trying to get back to her sister. And you guys, I have sisters, I have girls, and sister stories automatically have me invested, and so this one I imagine is going to be a tearjerker. Next is recommended by a favorite. So I am going to be reading Sunshine. I'm not even going to try to say this author's name, but Sunshine. This is a graphic novel. I've been reading so many graphic novels lately, you guys know, and one of my absolute favorite people, especially favorite people to buddy read with, is Angela. And so she has also been kind of in her graphic novel era. And so she said this one was really good and kind of, I think, was emotional as well. And I know nothing about it. She told me that she did it. She actually recommended 2 graphic novels, and my library did not have one, but they did have this one. So I immediately got it. There's no blurb on the book, and I didn't look at Goodreads. I'm not going to. I'm just going to go into this blind. I'm wondering if these are brothers, maybe. But it says how one camp taught me about life, death, and hope. So going to go in kind of blind and go for that. So those are 9 books that I'm planning to read in November. Like I said, I am deep in the nonfiction November mood. I'm just in the bleak story mood, but I need the nonfictions to break it up. You guys, I have The Woman in Me by Britney Spears waiting for me, and I'm filming this on October 29th, so that will probably be a November read. Yeah, I got some good stuff coming, guys. So what are you going to be reading in November? Are you going to be doing Historathon or Booktrovert Bingo or Nonfiction November or all the readathons all the time? Yeah, that's everything. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.